Classroom of the Elite has unexpectedly and quickly become one of my favorite animes. I'm a person who either likes anime with lots of action and a good underlying plot underneath, or an extremely well-written story that completely consumes the runtime of the anime, and how this show somehow do both of those. In this video, I'll just give a brief summary of Season 1 of Classroom of the Elite, and also obvious spoiler warning. Before we get started, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. And before I start recapping the story itself, I want to explain the school first. The Advanced Nurturing High School is a school established by the Japanese government to nurture young graduates that will support the country because the school somehow has a 100% employment and college rate. Well, that's beside the point. But the rules of the school are as follows. 1. Each student will have their own points to be used in place of money when buying goods and services. There is nothing within the realm of reason that cannot be bought on campus using points. 2. Each class is assigned class points. Class points will fluctuate based on the affiliated students' behaviors and the result of certain tests. Every month, each student is assigned private points equal to the class points times 100. 3. Any student who fails to meet the required score on a midterm or final exam will be expelled. The threshold for expulsion is 50% of the average score of the rest of the class in any given subject. Rule 4. Class A through D labels are provisional and can change based on the class point assignments. The class with the current highest total class points will be named Class A, with B, C, and D being named respectively in descending order. Rule 5. Students are allowed to exchange private points among themselves. The acquisition of another student's private points through fraud or threat will result in severe punishment, but the trading of points under any contract deemed legitimate will be left up to personal discretion. Rule 6. Students can buy the right to transfer to the class of their choosing. 20 million private points are required to do this. And last but not least, Rule 7. All students must stay in on-campus housing and are forbidden to leave the campus except for certain special occasions. Additionally, contact with all outsiders is forbidden, including family and guardians. Okay, now we got all that out the way. The story follows a dude named Ayan Koji, who I'm just going to say Ayan just to make it easier on myself, who seems extremely uninteresting and antisocial on the outside, but on the inside, this dude is brilliant. Like, look up how to be like Ion. Like, on YouTube, there's like actually like whole videos dedicated to being like this dude. It's insane. I don't know why anybody would think. Okay, anyways, on his first day of school, he meets the GOAT herself, Hirokita Suzune. I think I said her name. And like, once again, just to make it easier on myself, I'm gonna name her Susie. And she is extremely similar to Ayan, but she's extremely wise, devoted, and straightforward. Both of them were assigned to class 1D, the lowest class, because they are dumb. And when the teacher walked in, she had told them that they all have 100,000 yen a month, which everyone was like, oh my god, that's so much money. And that's just $688.85 with USD, which to me personally is just pocket change. And while everybody else is balling out, spending all their money, Ayan and Susie, they spent their money just, buy what they actually need. And this was actually helpful because when the second month started, nobody in Class D got any money because they were all just dumb. And this is explaining Rule 2 that I mentioned earlier. Now, Susie wants to be a student of Class A, but she's worried for everybody else because they're just, dumb. So she decides to create a study group along with Ayan to ensure that those dumb kids don't hold her back. But in order to do this, they have to enlist help with a classmate named Kushida Kikyo. I think that's how you say her name. Now, Kushida, oh my god, she's an angel. She's like the literal definition of wife material, bro. Like, oh my god. With her help, they're able to make the study group. Not surprisingly, it didn't end up well because Susie was just telling them how dumb they are. And so Ayan was like, darn, I guess I gotta get involved. Then next day comes and boom, almost everyone passes because Ayan just buys the test and he gives copies to everybody in the class, and he gives credit to Kushida because he wants to just live a normal life behind the scenes. He don't want to be in the drama like that. And now the reason I said almost everybody passed is because this one meathead failed. So he's about to be expelled until Ayan had to take action again by buying points for the dude using his money. And this time he credits Susie. Now after this whole debacle, Ayan is just minding his business walking home when he stumbles upon Kushida kicking a barrier saying hateful things to herself. And when she realizes that he caught her like her darker side, she literally says, if you tell anybody about this, I'll say that you the word around should grape me. Obviously Ayan didn't really care, but he just calmly agreed not to tell anybody because he got that dog in him like that. But moving on though, The meathead who was about to get expelled for failing the test, he got into an altercation with some of the Class C students who set him up. So Ayan and Susie, they had to step up once again and basically did a Uno reversal and set the Class C students up. When the two had went to the place where the altercation happened, Ayan was like, wow, there aren't any cameras here. So Susie planted some fake cameras and tricked the Class C students. As a result, they took back their accusation, and Susie realized that Ayan manipulated her into doing this plan to point out that there weren't any cameras, Bro, my king Ayan, he's amazing. I should probably watch those videos on how to be like Ayan. And after this incident, one of the witnesses who actually saw the fight, she has a stalker. So when bro was assaulting her, Ayan just came up and just saved the day once again. Personally, I would have beat him up first, then got the cops. Because I'm telling you guys right now, Ayan got them hands. Wait for season 2. And after this happens, Susie is basically interrogating him about his life and his motivations. And when Ayan, he looks her dead in her eyes, in her soul, and tells her, stay out my private life. But whenever summer break came, the school told the students that they were going to be on this fancy and big boat to this big deserted island so they can enjoy their summer. But obviously it wasn't that simple. The tasks that the students had to complete were surviving on said deserted island for a week. The rules of this challenge are as follow, and yes, this will be a lot of information, so just bear with me. Okay, so in the beginning, each class will be granted 300 S points. S points can be spent to purchase items listed in the manual. In addition, bonus points acquired during the test by fulfilling certain conditions will only be added on after the test is finished. They cannot be used during the test. And each class will choose one student to be their leader. Leaders cannot be changed without a legitimate reason. On the last day of the test, each class can declare who they think is the leader of the other classes. For each leader guessed correctly, that class receives 50 bonus points. If the leaders guess incorrectly, the class loses 50 points. In addition, a class whose leader is guessed correctly loses 50 points as a penalty and loses all bonus points gained during the test. Spots on the island that serves as a testing ground can be occupied under the following conditions. 1. A special keycard is required to occupy a spot. 2. The keycard can only be used by the person designated as the leader. 3. Each occupation of a spot grants 1 bonus point to the occupying class. Occupation rights expire every 8 hours, and each renewal grants another bonus point to the class in question. 4. Use of another class's occupied spot without permission will result in a 50-point penalty. Students will receive set penalties under the following conditions. 1. Those unable to continue the test due to poor health or injury will result in a 30-point penalty and retirement, which I think is messed up because imagine you get hurt or injured and, you set your entire team back for something you can't even control. I think that's wild, but whatever. 2. Pollution of the environment will result in a 20-point penalty. 3. Each absent at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. daily roll call will result in a 5-point penalty. 4. Violence, theft, or destruction of property against another class will result in immediate failure for the class to whom the offending student belongs and the forfeiture, of all that student's private points. And now that you understand the rules, and if you don't, I promise you that's fine because these children didn't understand them at first either. We can now get into this little arc. So after the rules get explained to them, they immediately go scouting for a good camping spot, and once they found it, they designated Susie as leader. While Ayan, the witness girl from earlier, and Susie are gathering firewood, they find an injured girl from Class C named Mio. They give the girl food and they invite her back to the camp. Everything used to be going smoothly until my dog, Korinji, think of him as the Tarzan of the show, basically. Withdraws from the test out of nowhere just because he felt like doing so. This angers everybody, but personally, I said let the man do what he want, bro. He just living life. I respect it. When Ayan and Susie are doing recon in the other classes, Class C's camp is looking like the American dream. They all chose to spend all their points and just basically have a vacation. They return to the camp and sleep. They wake up to hear that the entire Class C is withdrew from the test except for Mio. On the next day, a girl's underwear was stolen in the camp, which causes a divide between the females and the males of the group. All the boys were searched, but the underwear wasn't found. That night, Susie and Ayan are sitting by the fire, and he notices that she's been sick this entire test, but she just wants to thug it out like a G, and I respect that. The next day, Ayan asks Susie to show him her card just to see what it looks like. And remember this detail because it's going to be important later. Right after this, some random dude just walks up and he wants to be with the old girl and he ridges her up by putting mud in her hair. But then, she gets mad, obviously, and she legit tries to kill him. And I'm not exaggerating or joking. But when she was cleaning her hair, someone steals her card. Then after that, someone starts a fire in the camp, which causes even worse trust issues between the class, and everyone is all saying that it's Mio. When Suzy catches up to Mio after Mio ran away, Mio is revealed to have the card and the two fist fight. Oh my god, Suzy gets beat up. I mean, she's sick, I guess, but she got knocked out. She really got rocked. And then at the end of that episode, Mio gives the card away to a mysterious student. Mio then tells a Class A student that she has the card, which reveals that Class A and Class C are working together against everyone else. Since Suzy is not only sick, but she got beat up, Aion just withdraws her from the test. After the test ends, everyone guesses the leaders, and the leaderboard is that Class C got 0 points, Class A got 120 points, Class B got 140 points, and Class D got 225 points, making them the winners. Suzy was like, bro, how did we win? And Aion was like, well, since you guys suck, I did everything behind the scenes to make sure we win. I let Mio steal your card because when I asked to see your card, I was just letting her see it. And I let you get sick and beat up so I can take you out the test so then I can become the leader. So anyone who guesses you will be wrong. And just by using basic knowledge, I easily identified the other leaders. Oh, and by the way, I told everyone we won because of you. And after this whole test, Aion is notified that someone wants him expelled who turns out to be his father. And Aion is like, bro, I don't care. I ran away for a reason. And what's crazy is that this man, Aion, thought word for word, I never once thought of you as an ally. Not you, not Kushida, not Harada. All people are nothing but tools. It doesn't matter how it's done. It don't matter what needs to be sacrificed. In the world, winning is everything. As long as I win in the end, that's all that matters.